Is that what you want to leave with like veterans and others, that idea, listen, you're not broken, and you have all these things out there that can help and assist you. Let's all be in this together and kind of, get ourselves on the wellness path. Is that what you really want in this mission?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like I want people to realize how much power that they have, realize they're not broken, realize they're not alone either.
Yeah.
To your point, like everybody deals with this kind of stuff. So that when you get to that, when the darkness, I call it like the darkness comes in. By the way, I realize the sunlight is like reflecting off.
This actually is really cool. If you're watching video, it's like you're going from light to darkness as you speak. And
the sun is up. I have a glass desk and it's reflecting off of that. It's that they're just kind of like not alone in this fight either. Everybody deals with this, and you shouldn't feel guilty or bad or anything about whatever it is you're dealing with. More than likely, you just have never been taught how to work on it on your own. You have a very, very limited toolkit. Right? Your only toolkit is like mental toughness, like what we think of mental toughness. And that's great. That's a good tool, but you need other ones,
Yeah.
And once you get those, you'll be able to deal with, like, if you're truly like get to like a suicidal ideation type state, you can deal with that, right? And that's not to say you shouldn't call somebody or whatever else. Like, absolutely, those are good things. But like, you can disassociate from that feeling, right, at the time, and work with it in different ways. There's a whole, it's just, you don't have to give in to that, right? Because I think a lot of times that's what happens with people. It's just they spiral down and they don't know how to work their way out of it, right? And they think that all hope is lost. And even that is that's just a thought. It's just a belief, right? That you don't have to buy into.
Do you think or do you know if it's tougher for veterans just because of the stigma of that emotions, of speaking of emotions? I mean, listen, even the masculine macho guys I know, it's like, I'd never do therapy. That's, it's stupid. I don't need that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things. It's part of it is probably is a little bit of stigma, although I think that's changing.
Yeah.
Two is, again, I just think that like you don't even realize how to deal with it, right? Like, it's just, again, you really only have one way of going about things, and that's just to suck it up. And that's a really bad idea from a mental health standpoint. That's a great idea when you're training or when you're operating in the military, right? Like, that will save lives, and that's important. But when you're by yourself with a bottle of Jack Daniels, every night, self-isolating, that's not good advice. Suck it up is terrible advice in that time. So I think it's that. And then honestly, I think actually with the military, I have no evidence to support this really, but I think there's a physical toxicity component to it as well. Like in my case, it wasn't just mold. I think there's other things, like it's that Jenga puzzle thing, right? And each person is different too. You might have like childhood trauma that you never dealt with. And you just have compounded that. And then the other thing is, I think the hypervigilance is a big piece of it too. You don't realize that your body is in a fight or flight state. In fact, you don't even think it is. Like if you told somebody, yeah, you're in a fear state, they'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm not afraid of things. Like, really? Do you like sit down at a restaurant and place yourself in a place where you can see the entire restaurant and think of yourself as the protector of anybody? Like, if someone charges in with a gun, does that go through your head? Well, then you are. Right. You're not afraid, but what you're telling your body is that you're in danger. And that's the exact same thing, right? That is what hyperarousal, hypervigilance is. And when you spent a profession where you were in physical danger a lot, and that applies to, I think, a lot cops, firefighters too, you spend a lot of time subconsciously telling your body it's in danger. And that will have disastrous consequences on you physically over time. And so you have to figure out ways to reassure yourself that you're safe, because you probably don't even realize it. I didn't realize it.
Most
even
don't.
your face, right? Like you can see, like if people walk around and they're always like this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. My wife said to me, she's like, I was looking at our wedding pictures. Your forehead is so relaxed. And I was like, I thought that was such an interesting comment. And so I started looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, well, she's right. I'm always like this, which is a total sign of
Tension.
hypervigilance.
Yeah.
Right? That's danger right there. So I even do that. Like another practice I do is like I guess I call it like I don't know what I need a name for it, but like a facial recognition meditation where it's like I'm trying to feel my face and relax it as much as possible, because I'll still do it. It's like I'm walking around like this, right? Eyes really wide open, without even thinking about it. And that's an autonomic physical response that has happened through years of feeling like you have to be on alert.
Yeah. I think that's why it's important for everyone to just pause during a day where we're all super busy, super running around doing things, and just be like, how am I feeling? Let's actually take a scan. Am I tense in my neck, in my back? Am I breathing shallow right now? Am I, is my posture good? All these things that we do over and over that, aren't good for us. And then are my thoughts really positive, kind of relaxed thoughts? Are they actually anxiety ridden, looking at the past, future, everything thoughts? Just take stock. It's not going to change overnight, like you said, but in time, as you become more aware, you have the ability to change that around and start to break the trends of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have this tendency, I hunch up my left shoulder and I still do it. I'll find myself doing it. I have to consciously like drop it. I don't know why it's left side. All my issues are on my left side for some reason. I don't know why exactly, but
I'm sure there are people there that can tell you like reasons that may be the left.
Probably,
right?
yeah. But it is weird. Like all of the sort of physical stuff I have tends to be on the left side of my body. But yeah, that's one of those things that only came about through some awareness over the last couple of years. I've probably been doing it for a very long time and never noticed.
Yeah. No, it's really important that we start to pay attention to these things, because over time they start to take their toll on us, and really pay attention to our thoughts and mental well-being